You probably never struggled with sleep up until this point. It's been maybe a couple days, couple weeks, maybe even initial couple of months, and you are struggling with sleep. You just cannot sleep and you do not understand why. You never even understood how insomnia could even happen, and now you're in it. In today's video, I'm gonna be breaking down what these initial stages of insomnia look like, how they're actually perpetrated, like how you even ended up in this situation to begin with, what not to do if you're in this situation, and also what you can do instead to start really, taking the right steps in the right direction to reclaim your sleep and ultimately also your peace. And if you are new here, my name is Fiona. I'm a recovered chronic insomniac, and insomnia was the worst experience that I have ever had to go through. I am now a certified holistic sleep coach. That means that I help individuals recover from insomnia holistically. That is without medication, without strict rules, and without routines. Because trust me, it is possible, and hopefully through my videos, you will start to understand that you don't even have a sleep problem to begin with. Anyway, let's get into the video. So what is happening in these initial stages of insomnia, and how can we start breaking the cycle? In order for us to understand this, we need to understand how insomnia started and how the cycle was also perpetuated. As you know, insomnia starts with one bad night. This could have been caused by some external circumstance like noise, hormone changes, jet lag, a stressful event. These are things that can happen to us that are outside of our control and in some way affect our sleep. So we sleep badly, which is part of life. But differently to any other time in which we've slept badly is that the following night, we for some reason do not sleep again. And this of course increases the pressure on sleep and the pressure on having to make sleep happen. But the problem is, sleep cannot be controlled. We cannot chase sleep. We can't look for sleep and expect it to happen. In fact, sleep happens in the absence of effort. Think back at some of the times in which you've watched movies and you've tried to stay awake and sleep has just happened. You've just fallen asleep. And that is because our body shuts down and takes the rest that it needs without us getting involved, and whenever it feels safe enough for it to do so. So it is very important for our body to be in this rest and digest mode in order for sleep to happen. What ends up happening when we increase the pressure on sleep is that we're trying to avoid wakefulness. And our nervous system, which is this part of our body or our kind of system that tries to keep us safe, starts internalizing and learning that wakefulness is something that is harmful for us and something that needs to be avoided. The problem with that is that when our nervous system identifies something as harmful or something that it needs to avoid in order for us to be kept safe, it actually triggers the opposite state that we want to be in order to make sleep happen, which is we're in our fight or flight mode. We feel a rush of adrenaline, a rush of cortisol, which is our stress hormone, into our body. We have racing thoughts. We feel agitated, maybe cold sweats. This is what does not allow us to fall asleep. And as you can quickly see, this ends up being a perpetuating cycle. We do not sleep because we're stuck in our fight or flight, and we're increasing the pressure on sleep because we're not sleeping to begin with. So this initial cycle or stage of insomnia is perpetuated by the fact that we are chasing sleep because we no longer trust our body to be able to do so. This has never happened before. This feels concerning. We feel unwell. We feel emotional. And then hence, we are trying to do everything possible in order to make sleep happen. However, little do we know that the more that we try and make sleep happen, the more we're actually perpetuating the cycle of insomnia. So first thing that you need to know is that if you're in these initial stages, you feel lost, you feel confused, you are compulsively checking Google or Facebook groups as to what you should do, just know that sleep cannot be controlled. And the cycle of insomnia is actually perpetrated by the cycle of fear and not because you actually have a sleep problem. So it's very important for you to know that. And if you want to have a little bit of a deeper explanation as to what insomnia is and how to actually break the cycle, then I do invite you to check out my free 30-minute masterclass below that breaks this down, as well as the 4 layers of insomnia recovery that help you take insomnia recovery into your own hands. So now that you know how insomnia starts and how it is perpetuated, let's jump into what you should not be doing in this phase. Now you know that insomnia is perpetuated by the desire to chase sleep and control sleep. And because we are unable to do that, we are activating our fight or flight and actually making sleep less, likely to actually happen. This is highly perpetuated by the fact that we believe that sleep can be controlled. And it's not your fault that you think that. We live in an environment where Google, AI, doctors are telling you, take this tablet, take this supplement, do this routine, avoid blue light, etc., 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 etc. Okay? The number one thing, and I know that this is going to be in disagreement to everything that you have seen so far, but trust me on this one, is please try not to chase and control sleep. That's it. Sleep cannot be controlled, not through CBTI, not through medication, not through your doctor, not through therapy. Therapy can definitely help you understand what's actually happening. But realistically, sleep is and always will be a completely passive process. So if you're in this situation and you feel lost and confused and you have absolutely no idea how to finally make sleep happen, we need to start back from the basics and actually understand how you're in the situation to begin with, and to really understand that sleep is not one of those things that you can control, okay? You don't have a sleep problem. That's just a fact. Insomnia is not a sleep problem. Sleep is the symptom of insomnia, but the problem is in fact fear. So we know that we're not going to be chasing sleep. Great. So what do we do instead? This is where I'm going to invite you to educate yourself on insomnia and educate yourself on sleep. I truly believe that education is the foundation for you to start breaking the cycle of insomnia, okay? The more you understand the cycle, how it is perpetuated, how sleep actually works, which is only regulated by our circadian rhythm and our sleep drive, nothing else, the easier it's going to be to understand the thoughts, attitudes, and behaviors that you've been implementing in order to chase sleep. And the more we chase sleep, the more we're actually creating this dialogue that wakefulness needs to be avoided. So that's number one. That's all you have to do. If you are struggling with sleep, start understanding that you do not have a sleep problem. It is not your fault that you are in this situation. It is just part of being human. And in fact, everything that you're experiencing, although it feels uncomfortable, it is actually your body trying to keep you safe. And the more we understand that everything that is happening, thoughts, emotions, discomfort, and ultimately not sleeping, is happening because our nervous system is trying to keep us safe. And if you are in this, I deeply sympathize with you. I know it's very uncomfortable. I know it feels lonely, horrible. I know that you're probably just being thrown medication and that probably doesn't feel right. So just know that there is another way. You do not need to take medication in order to overcome insomnia, but that truly starts with this foundational level of understanding. Just start understanding what insomnia is. And again, if you do not know what insomnia is or how to even start understanding it, then just please go ahead and check out my free 30-minute masterclass below, where I break this all down in so much detail. Anyway, this is all for today's video. If anything, I just hope that you know that you are not alone, that you're not broken, that this isn't your fault, and that this isn't unique to you. Actually, so many millions of people actually struggle with insomnia every single day, and also so many recover holistically, and that is also available to you. And if you do have any other questions, comments, concerns, please go ahead and drop those below, and I promise that I'll get back to you.